So I hope everybody can listen me and everybody can see me. Super. I have messaged that everything is okay. So it's 2 p.m. Eastern European time, and we can start. I see that people are coming. Okay, we are starting. Hello to everyone who loves crypto, who has crypto, who doesn't have crypto on his wallets, who come to us just don't know what is there going on and just to listen us and to understand what's the party. And sure, I'm greeting and welcoming sophisticated crypto entrepreneurs which will join us or have joined us. Let's start our crypto party. I will be today the DJ of it, and we'll try to make the good atmosphere here. I'm located in Czech Republic, and here is I think the first day, real autumn. There is a rainy day and the leaves falling down, but it's a magic season with yellow, and red and really magic. I hope you have everything ready. Some water, some tea, because I have, there is, coffee and the magic secret, 1 spoon of, this is not the advertisement, but I sometimes like to have 1 spoon. Okay, it was 2 spoons today. There is like a coffee and dessert. So we can start. My name is Yuliya Barabash, and I'm the managing partner of law firm SBSB Fintech Lawyers. And what we do is we help people to launch their projects in crypto, in fintech, in gaming and investments. And generally we take on our shoulders all legal stuff, because who like legal questions? Nobody does. Yes. And usually the clients come to us just with an idea how to make this, or please make this. And generally speaking, we are making legal structures in corporations. We deal with banks, with payment systems. We usually obtain dozens of licenses already during 10 years of our work on these industries, and until business will start earn money, because this is the first and the main goal of each business, of every business, to earn money and to be lucrative and to be profitable and so on. I will turn on for organizational moments. Our webinar will take today 2 hours, including the Q&A session. You can write your questions if you will have them in the window. I believe you see the window somewhere on the screen, and you can use this window to ask the questions to our speakers. And after every speech, I will try to ask these questions to our speaker. I have today for you 5 fantastic speakers from 5 different countries. We have like international webinar. Here is Spain, here is Poland, here is Czech Republic, Lithuania, and sure, my lovely Ukraine. Here is 2 with us. So generally, in the end of this webinar, everyone should have knowledge how to launch successful, profitable crypto project without any pitfalls or accepting the risks to launch the project. Yes. And I hope you will have this knowledge. Let's go. No doubts, no any doubts, that cryptocurrency was created to earn money. And it is known like the most volatile financial instrument. And when I was reflecting on the opening topic and on my opening speech, I was thinking which topic to take, and I was thinking that you will be interested in the projects that we work with, that we have launched or will launch. We have processing nowadays, for example, And I would like to share the 5 types, the main 5 types that we deal and we face with the lawyers every day. So the first one is P2P trading. a small company that is registered on Binance or Kraken, and that can trade and make cryptocurrency exchange, yes, helping people to buy easily crypto or fiat or vice versa. And this company should have a license, and the profit of this small licensed company is the spread, and usually it's like from 2 or 3 to 3%. Today it is still cost effective to launch this P2P trading because MiCA is only knocking the door, yes, and it's about 10,000 euro to launch the project. So we made dozens, I'm not afraid of this number, yes, dozens of P2P trading companies. The second one is a classic crypto exchange with its own website with the user's personal accounts, which provide the crypto wallets to its users. And unlike P2P trading, classic crypto exchange does not need any Binance or Kraken, I don't know, Bitstamp, some big exchange. Yes, it works independently. And I hope Daria, my colleague, our lawyer, will share and will add me or correct me in these. She will give us details how they work or where to make this classic crypto exchanger and open the question. The third one is the crypto processing. What is that? Who is that? Companies. They usually help businesses to accept crypto payments on their websites and online shops. They have special software they provide to, for example, for online shop if you sell goods and services. And usually they provide cards, for example. And the profit is the business fee that they provide to the client. And we have Alexander from WhitePay company, and he will tell us more about what is crypto processing and how they can help people, how they can help customers or business to increase their profits. The fourth one, the fourth one project that we face, very usual, like in every day, it's crypto cards. I will just give the example what I mean. It's like Trustee Plus. For example, I'm using their application, and it's very convenient when I pay the goods, when I pay the services, when I pay fuel, for example, for a car. I can pay by card Trustee Plus, and I'm paying by crypto, not by fiat, right? And as I know, Crypto.com or Coinbase or Bybit, they provide always as well this service, and you use like a usual bank card, but you are paying with your crypto. This is a very good idea, and we have now very promising project in our crypto department. And number 5, it's token issuing. And most commonly, it is utility tokens for fundraising. We are making structures for these companies. We are making licenses for these companies as well. This is more complicated project, but it's too widely spread. So these were the 5 main projects that we deal in everyday life in our crypto department, in our company. Now I would like to speak a little bit about trends and prospects, what are waiting and what you should take into account, which factors you should take into account to before starting your crypto project. I would like to highlight 4 trends that you should keep in mind. Firstly, nowadays crypto is not only has been expanded into something more. When somebody starts crypto project, it's not only crypto, because it has a lot of different functional, like it can be the bank simultaneously, it can be the EMI, it can be connected with forex exchange or gaming, for example. Yes, and thanks to concluding contracts, white label contracts with different providers who can provide you different services. The crypto project is, like I have said, something more than just crypto, and you should develop in this. For example, there are a lot of interesting projects that we that we know. You must know them too, I think. The hamster combat, that people clicked the display and got tokens, and after they can change or sell these tokens. Good examples like Nutcoin, for example, and some others. These just the interesting examples of some crypto businesses. The second, which you should take into account, the second trend, MiCA. Sure, MiCA is coming. MiCA is knocking the door, like we say. MiCA will not allow to start a crypto project for 10,000 euro. No, the share capital, if I'm not mistaken, and Daria will correct me, she will have the time and she will tell more about MiCA, what she's bringing to us. And as I know, the share capital only will be about 125 or from 150,000 euro. It's been, like I remember 5 years ago, it was the fintech boom when we were registering projects, fintech projects for 50,000 euro. And when it was possible, nowadays it's impossible to make the bank or EMI for 50,000 euro or dollars. Yes, you need to have 500,000 at minimum to start the fintech project. So I'm supposing that we are waiting the same little bit. And the third one, the crypto market is overheated, and it's true. There's a very high competition. So I will give some advices after what you should take into account. The fourth one trend is mistrust to new crypto projects. And it's a fact that we all know, we all faced how much fraud and scam there is in crypto industry, right? And people, they now don't believe the new project. They are afraid to believe new projects. So to summarize, I don't want to take the precious time from our speakers today. They have a lot of information useful. I would like just to summarize that in order to launch successful crypto projects, and in order it will be the prosperous, wealthy, and profit-making, do the following. Have the good and unique idea, the first one. The second one, do not limit the project only with the crypto functions. Make it wider. The third one, cost-effective launching. Choose, find the company, find the lawyer, or make it by yourself, but cost-effective to test your idea, to make it testing your model. And the last one, and the fourth, win trust of users. It's really important. Finally, I would like to pass your ears and attention to Daria Lysenko. We call her the crypto queen in SBSB. Yes, we call her like that because she's the best in crypto and she has a strong grasp in regulations, and she knows best where to start your crypto project. I mean, about these jurisdictions, MiCA, how is better step-by-step route, and what MiCA is bringing to us. Please, Daria, take your time, take your 15 minutes at your disposal. And I will remind just to all guys who are listening to us, that you have the possibility to ask questions to Daria, to any other speaker who will have today, and I will address your questions to our speaker after Daria or the speaker will finish. Daria, do you hear me? Yes,
yeah.
she's there. The crypto queen is there.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Yuliya, for such an intro. So let me share my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, Daria, we see it. Yes, that's perfect now.
Okay. Okay, so I guess we can start. My name is Daria Lysenko. I am a lawyer at the international law firm SBSB Fintech Lawyers. We have more than 10 years experience in the crypto field. And today I would like to explore the topic of launching a successful crypto project. And we will look at the important stages that you need to go through in order to launch your successful crypto business. So let's start. So the first the first step for you as an entrepreneur will be the idea. What exactly which crypto project can be implemented at the moment and what benefit can be obtained from it. Yuliya has already told about some types of crypto projects. So here you can see a crypto exchanger, just the most popular type of projects when you suggest exchanging from crypto to crypto, crypto to fiat, and vice versa. And also we can tell that P2P traders also it's a crypto exchanger too. The next type is a trading platform, crypto exchange platform, where users can buy, sell, exchange, and store cryptocurrency. So here you will not find just two small windows for entering the amount and the currency, but here will be a lot of tabs with the possibility of trading funds, with staking, mining, cooperation, P2P as well. So cryptocurrency exchange works according to the principle of stock exchange. And that is quite a big project. The next one type is crypto processing. Also, we have today one of the representative of White Pay, and he will tell a little bit more about this type. So basically, it's when you can accept crypto payments on your website. Another type of crypto projects is also an initial coin offering. So it's a form of investment attraction in a new startups in the form of issuing and then selling new coins, utility tokens as usual. And another type, let's say, it's STO, when you will issue like security tokens and they will run under securities law. Also, we have a very interesting topic today regarding real world asset tokenization today. So I guess we will talk about this also today. And other crypto projects also very interesting is NFT. So projects focused on NFT tokens that are non-fungible, so they are unique and completely different from each other. And their numbers are really limited. So there are some projects that allows create and sell NFT. And also you can see the examples on the screen. Next one is DeFi projects, decentralized finance. That is platforms that provide financial services without intermediaries such as banks, using smart contracts. So financial services that currently available on DeFi application include lending, trading, investments, and insurance as well. Users can access decentralized applications through their digital wallets, and that they allow them to trade, lend, and borrow. And also DAO, we think that it's the most the newest one. It's a decentralized autonomous organization. For example, MakerDAO is very famous, where managed by the community through the smart contracts. So DAO, it's a kind of digital organization that can be where decisions are made automatically. It's important to emphasize that there are a lot of directions of crypto projects, and we don't have a lot of time today, but let's consider that you choose such type like a crypto exchange project, just a simple project, because it's the most popular, and we move on to the next steps. So one of the most important step is choosing the proper jurisdiction for your business, because each country has its own requirements. What should be considered? First of all, it's legal regulation, because you have to choose a jurisdiction with a stable legal system and with a system where cryptocurrency law does not change very often. Also, you should consider tax regime, so low rates for income, corporate income tax, for value added tax, and possible tax benefits. Having double tax treaties also can be an important advantage. Another one point is requirements for obtaining a license. We mean here capital requirements, requirements for local staff, local office, documents. So because everything will cause additional expenses, as you understand. Also, access for banking services is very important because not all countries allow banks to work with cryptocurrency projects. But fortunately, we can help with this issue, and we will talk about this a little bit later. And of course, jurisdiction reputation, political and economic stability, and compliance requirements should be considered along with AML, QAC requirements, and reporting. So in this regard, I would like also to tell a few words regarding MiCA. It's a new regulation in Europe, marketing crypto assets. It institutes uniform EU market rules for crypto assets. And as you know, the MiCA regulation established a phased implementation schedule for stablecoins. As you know, it was applicable from the June 30th from 2024, and for crypto asset service providers it will come into force from the 30th of December 2024. So under the MiCA regulations, companies that aim to provide cryptocurrency services, they need to obtain new license as a crypto asset service providers. It will be a requirement for those services such as custody, exchange crypto to fiat, and vice versa, to the managing of crypto assets portfolios, providing crypto advice and crypto asset transfer services, and so on. And here on the slide, you can see main criteria for CASP applicants. So first of all, it's headquarters. So you should have the main office in one of the member states where you're going to provide crypto services. Also, you should have European management board with a proper experience and also with education. The next one is meeting requirements regarding capital. Share capital, as Yuliya already mentioned, but the minimum requirements is 50,000, but it depends on the type of services. So, for example, for crypto exchange services, minimum share capital will be 125,000 euros. It's just a minimum requirement. And of course, a lot of new internal documentation required by MiCA, including operational and risk management plans, and a lot of other. But also, we should tell you that there are transitional periods in member states during of which you can adopt to this new regulation. But this is transitional period is only for existing companies. That's why, for example, if you want to enter the European market, you have the possibility to get the crypto authorization in this year. So by the end of 2024, it's quite simple. For example, in Poland and Czech Republic now, so you can make everything done until the end of this year. And after that, you will receive a special transitional period during the 6 months where you can apply to the license according to the new rules. And then even when your application is under review, you may continue provide your crypto exchange services until your application will be reviewed and you receive the license. So the advantage is for existing companies that you don't need to stop your activity when your application is under review. So we think it's a good possibility to enter the market and to continue then even when MiCA come into force. And for those who are currently considering the choice of suitable jurisdictions, probably it will be interesting some other countries. Here you can see on the screen something not from the European Union. And we would also encourage you to seek legal advice from us to choose the best option for you, because each country has some advantages and disadvantages, and we will share with you all the details and find out what will be the best for you. So when you choose the jurisdiction, let's step with company formation. For now, in almost all jurisdictions, it's possible to set up a company remotely without personal presence, and the main steps here is preparation of documents, choosing organization form, as usual is LLC, just simple company, limited, and drafting the documents and basically registration. And sometimes open an account for contribution of share capital is needed. That is quite a simple stage, let's say. The next one, and the most important one, I think, it's obtaining a crypto license. As I said, depending on the jurisdiction, the requirements can vary significantly, but in general, main steps you can see also on the screen. It's drafting of internal policies, so it's a legal part of work. Also preparing a business plan, which includes description of your services and financial plan of your business. Also, we will have to fill the application for obtaining the license, submit this application, pay all the governmental fees. After that, regulator checks whether the company responds the mandatory requirements, and sometimes they will ask additional questions that you have to reply. And after successful completion of all of the stages, you will receive the license or approval, or registration, how it's called in different countries, and you will enter into the relevant state register. After that, also very important part of the development of your project is opening business and merchant accounts. This can be a challenging task because not all banks and not all payment institutions work with crypto companies because it's high risk for them. But we help to open corporate accounts in crypto-friendly electronic money institutions. You can see on the screen some of our partners, but we have a lot of different options, and even some banks also. So we can help with their onboarding process and help to open business account. Also, opening crypto exchange wallet is also may be a challenge, because you should understand that a crypto company will be considered also as a high risk industry, and all this crypto exchange platform will ask additional questions, additional requirements for you, but it also we can help with all of these issues that may arise. After that, we can move on to the next step, is launching your own platform. It includes development of a technical solution. So you should develop your website or probably mobile application, what you want. Also, it's important to prepare documents for your website or application, like terms of use, privacy policy, and so on. It's also a legal part of this launching your platform. And also connecting automated AML providers, so providers who helps you to conduct QIC procedures and also transaction monitoring tools. And I would like to mention that it is mandatory even for P2P traders. So even if you work through an exchange platform like Binance, you still have the responsibility for verification of your clients. So we recommend usually to launch these automated solutions. After that, also a part of your project is promotion and marketing. Here it's a problem of transparency, also as Yuliya mentioned, because there is a little bit mistrust of crypto projects that remains. And here, to overcome this barrier, you need to actively work on creating transparency. That includes regular reporting, participation in public discussions, and preferably even in educational projects maybe. Also, you should consider legal and technical restrictions of advertising. For example, such popular platforms as Facebook, as Google, they have some restrictions, and there are even legislative restrictions in some countries where when you can promote your services in some country only if you have a special approval in this country. So this is very important to be in the legal field on the specific country where you want to promote your services. And also you can use innovative promotion methods for crypto projects. For example, airdrop, maybe you heard something about it. It's a free distribution of tokens to a certain group of users. It could be retro drop. It's the distribution of tokens for those users who previously interacted with your project. Or bounty program, it's also opportunity to receive tokens for such actions, for example, for following in social networks. So you can expand your services and find new clients in this way. And also you should have active community, because without active community your project risks going unnoticed. So also maintaining activity in Telegram and Reddit, in Twitter, Facebook, and so on is very crucial as well. And the last one, it's company maintenance. So here I would like to say regarding legal support, because in the course of your activity you may have very different questions. For example, analysis of partners, of agreements, maybe opening additional accounts, maybe protection of your intellectual property. And for all of these questions, legal assistance will be needed as well. Also, you should comply with the updated legal requirements. As I mentioned, legislative requirements could be changed, and that's why it's crucial to monitor your company's compliance with the local legislation and update your documents accordingly. So I guess that's all for today. As you see, launching of crypto project is a complex process, and it needs integrated approach. So if you already have the idea or any thoughts regarding your crypto projects, feel free to reach out to our team, and we will help you to find the best solution for your business. So now I think maybe someone have a question, or we can move to another speaker.
Daria, thank you to be in frames of time. I was thinking to make you knocking, but you finish your speech. And yes, we have some questions. That's a good thing. I want to ask questions from myself. Firstly, when the client is coming, he's interested in two things mostly: the budget, how much, and when you will make me the project. Yes, this is the main questions that everyone wants to know. So when MiCA will come, and you say it will be like the next year, like actually the company should can we know and can we name now some frames in euro or any currency, like for example, for today's day in Europe you can make it for like 10,000, 15,000, I don't know, it depends, yeah. And what will be the budget to start their crypto project in future with the MiCA? I mean, it will be 100,000 or it will be 300,000 or even more, like generally, yes, like with different ML, with different, with lawyers, with software, I don't know, like, or 500,000 it can be. And how long it will take to get their this certificate, or it's like from MiCA, yes, like
Mm-hmm.
to some license or how it's called. So I mean, I would like to have the answer, like it will take you about half a year and it will take you about 500,000 or something like that. Can we name? Do we know?
Actually, we have just approximate prices because previously we used to say to our clients, yes, that up to 10,000 euros it will be turnkey solution for you. So now it will not be such cost effective because, as I mentioned, first of all, it's a requirement for share capital. You should consider it depends on the type of service. So from 50,000 to 150,000 depends on the services. If we talk about legal part of the work, it also depends on the type of the project, but at minimum we say that it will be 20,000 euros and up to maybe 50,000. But we just finalize our offers to our clients as both for the existing and for the new ones, because there are a lot of new documents, new policies, internal documentation for this type of projects. So and all of them we will prepare. And another also important point is your expenses for local staff and local offices. Here it also depends on what type of office it will be, because it could be office for 1,000 euro per month or could be for 15,000. It's up to you. And also local employee, at least local manager and AML officer. And you should also know that, for example, in Eastern Europe, it will be less. Their salaries will be not very high, for example, as in Germany, let's say. But there are only approximate amount of funds that you should spend, so we can't say precisely for now.
Yeah, I see. So we will see next year, right?
Yeah, and timeline also, we don't know how long does it take in each member state. I think it will vary depending on the member state, because for example some countries have not they are not so popular, and not a lot of existing companies in these countries, and some countries don't have capacity in their regulatory authority, don't have enough staff to review all the applications. So we don't know, a few months at least we think it should take, so 2-3 months it's minimum. And but as I
It's two, three
mentioned,
months usually.
yeah, as I mentioned, there will be transitional period. So if for existing companies, so if you just apply, you can continue your activity in this country even when the application was under review, and until you receive the approval or rejection. But we hope that only approval.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Daria. The second question, and we will finish with questions because we have lack of time.
Mhm.
What banks are the most you consider friendly and which provide accounts for crypto exchangers? Banks for crypto companies.
Banks or EMIs?
In the question, there is a bank. So if it's not
Banks.
possible, bank,
Uh,
yes.
There are some European banks, let's say European Merchant Bank in Lithuania, also some Swiss banks, and a lot of options in Dominica. Maybe you know the Kingdom Bank, Bank. It's if you talk about banks, but there are a lot of electronic money institutions. They are almost like banks, so all the functions you will have. And I don't know, I don't know whether it will be like advertisement, but we talked about our partners. For example, Zen is very popular. I think you know Clear Junction, also our partner. Banquera, Januar, NextPay, Nuvei, also we cooperate, and today we have speaker from this company. And a lot of other, because we have a list of partners and that are crypto friendly. But most of them are EMI, not banks. But we hope that after MiCA, when MiCA comes into force, and we will receive new licensed crypto asset service providers, banks will be more crypto friendly for them.
I hope so. I hope so, but I hope it will be not so much costly and strictly. Daria, thank you so much for your delightful and informative speech. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Thank you.
I hope everyone knows how to launch now projects and where to start. And I will have some questions in the end of our webinar, because I have 2 questions left. Okay. And now I would like to give time and to give your attention to Alexander Dardalan, and he's the business development manager at WhitePay, as I've already said, the crypto processing. And he has the topic today, the advantages of crypto acquiring for small and medium-sized business. And I hope there are a lot of small and medium-sized business listening to us. So I'm interested, and we are all interested to listen to you, Alexander. Please take your time. Yes.
Yes. Hello, everyone. And I'm Alex. I'm responsible for international partners and partnership and business development at WhitePay. WhitePay is a payment processor at a part of WhiteBit ecosystem. And as Daria told earlier, we are also partners of SBSB Fintech Lawyers. And now I'll show my presentation. One moment, I'll share my screen.
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah, great.
Great. So next 15 minutes, I'll be talking about how to unlock new possibilities for your business and how to shift it on the next level. So on this slide, we can see, of course, not only the Bitcoin price. Here we can see how interest of the people in crypto are growing from year to year. It means that more and more people own crypto, and more people would like to not only to keep it, not only to earn by owning it, but also spending in retail or in e-commerce. So how many people now involved in crypto? So during last year, we can see that the quantity of crypto owners increased by 33%, from 400 million to more than 500. And 31 million of these people are living in Europe, so they can be a very close potential clients. And what is most important is that 35% of these people are interested to use cryptocurrency as a payment method. So it's about 300 million all over the world. So who are these people? We know that they are young, they are very active. Sometimes they trade with crypto, sometimes they play hamster combat, sometimes they get salary in crypto, and what is very important, they spend it. How they spend it? We know that average check of crypto is 1.5 times higher than a normal cash check. So I think it's a good reason to offer this possibility to pay in crypto to crypto owners. So one moment. So what is WhitePay? WhitePay is a processing solution which offers to businesses the possibility to get payments from crypto owners. In general, you can use WhitePay with the API. API is a small code which can be implemented on your website, and it will give you a possibility to accept crypto payments automatically. Also, we have a possibility to get payments with a payment link. So it's very easy to create, and you can send it via Messenger, like TikTok link or like Instagram Reels to your client, and he can open it on his mobile or on the desktop browser and make a payment. And on this slide, you can see that WhitePay offering crypto acquiring for the e-commerce. We have a very nice POS terminals for retail. So if you have offline, if you're running an offline business, or you have some offline offices, for clients who wants to pay in crypto, very easy to use QR scanner. You can easily generate check for payment, and your client will pay it. We have a solution for charity organizations like crypto donation pages, and also for streamers, for young generation who like stream on the Twitch. They can use our solution to create a widget. It will be seen on the screen, and of course, people can send donations to the streamers. So, what is inside? Crypto payments, first of all, have much low fees than normal banking transactions, and they're very important that in payments, which can be done in stable coins, the commission size is always the same. For example, if it doesn't matter, you pay 100 or 100 million or $1 billion, in some stable coins, the commission is always 1 USDT. With crypto payments, your company becomes really international, because now you don't need to open currency account. You don't need to go to bank. You don't need to prepare a lot of documents. If you have crypto acquiring, if you can accept crypto payments, it means that you can get payments from all over the world. WhitePay solution allows to accept payment in more than 270 crypto coins. This instant conversion into stable coin. So there is no volatility risk, and your $100 will be always $100. It doesn't depend on Bitcoin's exchange rate next morning. For our clients, we offer a personal dashboard. It's a very convenient tool where you can see not only deposits or your withdrawals. You can prepare a very convenient reports. And if you have, let's say, if your business have a lot of salesmen, you can create a lot of roles like for chief accountant, for floor salesman, and any person will have access only for the information you will grant to them. We offer instant withdrawals, and it means that you don't need to wait next Monday when bank is open and you can make a withdrawal. So you can arrange it in minutes and get money to your bank account. Also, it can dramatically increase profitability. What is very important for businesses with low marginality. It means that you can get 1 or 2% of extra margin, and it will also sometimes it might help your business not only to survive but only to develop further. So summing up, I don't want to take a lot of your business time. Summing up, let me repeat that your business, when it becomes crypto, it becomes really global. So next slide is the last. And here you can see QR code. It's a QR code for your contact request. So you can scan it right now, or you can find in translations chat our contacts. So please feel free to apply for partnership, and I think within days you can start accepting crypto in your business. Thank you for your attention, and maybe you have questions.
Thank you, Alexander. Thank you for short and clear speech to the point. We have a couple of questions. I think you will like them because it's everything about your topic. If my company wants to receive payments in USDC for services that are not connected to crypto exchanges, for example, marketing or some other services, yes, what should I do? Is it possible?
Yes, you don't need to have physical account on the exchange. WhitePay allows you to have a cabinet, and technically we store your funds inside the cabinet on your account, which we automatically create for you when you pass QIB procedure and when you become our client. So to summarize, you don't need to have anything on the external exchanges. After setting up an account with WhitePay, we will make all automatically for you.
And I can provide marketing services, or I can be, I don't know, PR, or I can make any other activity, right? So the business is not
Sure.
Limited,
If you passed QIB procedure, QIB means know your business. It means that you have to provide some certain information about your company, about yourself, about your business. And after passing QIB successfully, you can get automatic access to all the features of our service. You can use API on your website, or you can, as I told you, make payment pages, like payment links, and send to your clients, which can pay them on chain.
And who will not pass the QIC? Who will not definitely pass? Some scammers?
We definitely not to work with countries aggressors, and we definitely not work with countries who are under sanctions. And of course, and at the moment we are not making services for United States residents. It's a totally different system.
Okay, thank you. And another question, how can I connect crypto processing to my website? Just, I think, 1, 2, 3, some steps to call you, right?
Of course, first you have to call me, and I'll explain you that there are one way is, as I told, API. It's a small code, and it can be very easy implemented. It's like a Google Analytics code. So it's a code which understands mostly of the websites, which ends a button to pay with WhitePay. So when clients wants to pay, when the clients on checkout page sees the price, he just pushes the button and goes to payment page where he can pay this amount by choosing more than 200 cryptocurrencies. Another way is create payment link inside your cabinet. It's also very easy. It can be done with 2 or 3 clicks. And another one, and the last way is we have plugins for most popular site CMS content management systems, like for WordPress, WooCommerce, Magento, and others. So you also can very easily use this plugin, and in I don't know, in minutes to get this solution implemented on your website.
Alexander, should I pay for setup? White pay?
No,
Because there is some
you
fee.
yes, we don't have any hidden fees. Our fee is very simple. We take our commission is 1% only, and no other fees are necessary to use our service. We don't have any subscription plans. We don't have any deposits, no chargebacks, no anything.
Great. Thank you so much again for your speech. Thank you, Alexander.
Thank you.
I will go on to another speaker, and I will just remind that everyone who should now say goodbye to us to run somewhere, we will send the recording of this webinar to email if you leave your email, sure. Let's go on and let's proceed, and I'm happy to announce our next speaker. It's Paulis Lastas. Lastas, I hope I make correct, Lastas, and he's the embedded finance commercial lead in Nuvei. And very interesting topic, because every project, every business would like to have the business account, the bank account. And there are usually problems with that, especially you're a crypto project, yes? And I would like you, Paulis, to tell us how complicated it is now to open their bank account, to integrate financial services into crypto business. What do you require? And something more interesting that you have for us with your presentation. Go on, please.
Yeah, thank you, Yuliya. Nice to meet you, everyone. Very nice to be here. My name is Paulus. I'm with Nuvei. With Nuvei's banking and card issuing teams. So Nuvei is a global acquirer processor, but I'm working with Nuvei banking product that allows crypto, or not only crypto, merchants to open business accounts and to use API banking. So let me share my screen in a moment. I hope you can see my screen. So I'll very briefly talk about in general who provides business accounts for crypto businesses. Then what are the different types of business accounts? What you need to prepare for due diligence, for the compliance approvals, and so on, in order to to get the best deal for yourself and to get accepted. And then I'll talk about what you should expect from banking. What are the features that are important and that are worth to pay maybe a bit more. And then I'll briefly touch upon Nuvei API banking solution, but I will try not to fixate too much on that. So very briefly, so as you know, business accounts are opened usually by the financial institutions like traditional banks. However, if you are in the crypto sector, if you are in any other higher risk sector in the eyes of the financial institutions, you won't have much luck on opening business accounts within the traditional banking sector, because they usually do not accept higher risk businesses, and crypto is higher risk business. Then of course there are some digital banks, And they are, of course, there are a variety and a bunch of them, right? So some of them accept crypto companies, others don't. So it more depends on the on the bank. And but the problem is usually with you have a bit less flexibility with digital banks because more often than not they do not offer API banking or some kind of advanced features that you may need within your crypto business. Then, of course, there are EMIs or fintechs that Yuliya and also Daria mentioned during their parts. And there are a lot of them in Europe, and they usually provide banking services to higher risk businesses as crypto. So this is, I think, where you have the most chances to get the banking provider. They are way more flexible on who they onboarding. They are more flexible in the services that they are offering, and they usually have more features than digital banks or traditional banks. Business accounts can be also opened at the credit unions or specialized banks. Specialized banks and EMIs, not the same financial institution, but usually they are quite similar in many ways. With credit unions, I don't think you'll have much success, although I've heard some instances where this was the case that the crypto company was able to open a business account. And with specialized banks, of course, you will probably have more luck as they sometimes work with higher risk industries. It depends, of course, on their risk acceptance. Of course, not specialized banks accept crypto. Now, when even maybe before going to the financial institutions such as fintech, EMI, or specialized bank, you have to very consciously understand what kind of account do you need, what type of account, right? So either you need operational account, settlement account, C2B account, virtual accounts for each of the end user of yours, or safeguarding account, right? So this is very important that prior to going to the fintech or a specialized bank, you understand which type of bank accounts you need. And then when talking to this financial institution, you can present your business and the needs, your needs, right? So operational business accounts is usually used for, supplier vendor payments, to pay salaries, rent, any other supplier, just to, IT development, right? Everything you need to launch and operate your crypto project. Settlement account is the account that you would use to receive settlement from acquirers like Nuvi, acquirers like WhitePay that just gave us a summary on their services. So if you acquire and your end users, they use local methods, they pay with crypto, and then you collect all those payments and you get those funds settled into your business account. So this is a settlement account. C2B account is an account that is very popular within the crypto industry, and Nuve has a lot of experience on that. So it's an account that allows you to receive deposits from the end users, from the third parties, right? So if I want to deposit funds to some crypto exchange, I make a SEPA transfer to the account of this crypto exchange, and I get then those funds deposited to my crypto wallet within the crypto exchange, right? So this is mainly API banking, right? So the fintech or the specialized bank has to provide the APIs for you to be able to implement this kind of a flow of depositing euros into your platform. It's usually done quite easily, but again, the financial institution that is providing the service must have the API banking, right, to make it easy to reconcile, to understand which deposit should be added to which user's wallet, and so on. Then virtual account, this is also, I think, quite hot topic at the moment, is when a crypto project basically allows their end users to have their own accounts, usually with the IBAN number. So this, of course, is way more complex than C2B, this Omni pooled account. But with virtual accounts, you have even more flexibility. The best thing about the virtual accounts is the user can deposit funds to his own account just in another financial institution. So, for example, if the user's bank is not very friendly to crypto, they even can't see that he's depositing funds to the crypto exchange because he is actually making transfer to accounts under his name, right? And then the safeguarding account, this is, I think, the most self-explanatory one, when you just need an account where to hold and safeguard the funds. So before going to the financial institutions, I highly recommend to prepare some of the documents that you will be asked by all the financial institutions, because they all probably comply with the same regulations. And if that's a European financial institution, they all comply with the European regulation regarding how they can open account and what kind of information they have to collect before opening this account. So in most of the cases, you will be asked to fill the questionnaire, some kind of forms on the KYC, on your shareholders, on the director of your company, and then, of course, on the anti-money laundering policies and procedures. You potentially will be asked to provide the ultimate beneficiary owner statement of fees, maybe some tax statements, also the ID documents of both the ultimate beneficiary owner and the director of the company. Of course, some company documents like memorandum, articles of association, shareholder structure, and that kind of company documents. If the company is not new, not a startup, you may be asked to provide statement of funds, financial statements for the previous periods. You may also be asked to provide all those policies, AML policy, sanctions policy, KYC samples, and also agreements with blockchain screening provider, with sanction screening provider, and even your UBO or director may be asked to be verified remotely, and will ask for what kind of provider you use, your company uses to remote identify your customers. Now, about the banking features and about the additional features and the details that are important when choosing your banking provider. So as I briefly touched upon, I think it's very important to understand whether the financial institution actually can provide API banking. Because with so many companies now within the crypto space and the fintech and all other industries as well, they all want to have a tailored banking solution. They want to be their own bank, right? They want to integrate banking into the platform to make everything seamless to the customer. So this is very important that the financial institution that you're talking to would have APIs that you could consume. Then there are so many additional features that can be offered by some of the financial institutions. I'm not sure, how many of the financial institutions in Europe has something like the feature I'm going to present, but this is, I think, very, very important, and this would be new normal in a few months even. So operational rules. So whether you as a business owner, as a business, can set the rules, what kind of payments you want to accept and what kind of payments you don't want to accept, whether you want to accept the deposits that are less than 10 euro, whether you want to accept the deposits that are coming through some of the banks, maybe sanction country, maybe all those operational rules that you can set, and you can be very clear what kind of transfers actually come into your account, or they can be stopped and rejected right before they touch your account, and you don't have this burden. Then the QIC that the financial institution actually asks you to provide and to share all the QIC documents of all your users, or they ask the QIC only if the transaction flagged on the transaction monitoring system. Even if this is the second option, I think it's important to understand whether you will have your compliance team will have to send the ID documents and any other information via email to this financial institution, or they can take it via the APIs. So, you save manual workload, you don't have too many operational tasks for your compliance team. I think this is very important because in the end, it helps you to save costs and basically manage the business more effectively. And of course, also very important is to understand what currencies is supported. So it depends on where do you want to work, which is your, what is your target market, whether this is Europe, US, LATAM, or any other region. I think it's very important to understand that the financial institution that you will be working with will support all those currencies, and will also have the FX functionality. So you will be able to switch between these currencies if you collect in the local currency, and then you have to pay for the supplier in euros. So that you will have this option on the same platform, saving fees and making this just more convenient, right? And then, of course, within the currencies, what kind of payment rails do they support? Whether they support SEPA or SEPA Instant, or they just support SEPA for Euro. All the other currencies, are they supported via the local rails or via SWIFT? So these are the main things that I think you should consider. And now, just before an end, very briefly on what Nuvei has to offer. So we provide a product called Nuvei Accounts, Nuvei Banking as a service, where you get, we can provide you with a bank account, with a business account, and we can also support you with the API banking. So you can integrate Nuvei Banking into your platform. We are direct participant of the SEPA system via the central link of Bank of Lithuania. We also have a lot of correspondent banks all over the world that allows you to transact in different currencies and all in one platform. We also support crypto. So these are all the currencies that are available. I'm not going to go through each one of them, but this is just and we always adding new currencies supported. So currently no USD is supported, but this is work in progress. I think in a few months, if we'll do another event with SBSB Fintech Lawyers, we'll present you with the updates for USD. So one thing is you can just use Nuvei Banking as a regular bank, right? We have the banking platform where you can log in, see your transactions, switch between accounts and so on. And or you can integrate our APIs and use the banking on your platform. So yeah, thank you very much. I think I'm ready to take the questions now.
Yeah, Paulis, thank you so much for your elegant speech. Everything is correct and everything is clear, I would say. And yes, we have some questions. In the end, you've mentioned that you don't provide the accounts in the USD, and there is a question: why it's so hard to open business account in USD for crypto company? What's the problem, and why it's easier to open in euro usually?
Yeah, so the euro is very easy because we and some of the other players in the market have direct access to euro rails, right, through SEPA. So this is in most of the cases quite easy. With USD, this product is I think not only me, but also many other people noticed that this product is almost non-existent at the moment in Europe, USD. And this is because of some of the financial institutions, meaning the banks in the US, had some turbulence maybe a year or 2 years ago, right? And from that moment, it's very hard, I think, for the financial institutions to find reliable partners in the US. And so this is how the correspondent banking works, right? So you have to have the partners all over the world, especially in the US, to support USD. And this is not something that could be done very easily.
Okay, got it. Okay, euro will be much easier. So start with the euro, yes, the recommendation. I have another short question. You mentioned that if it is not a startup, we will open the bank account and so on and so on. Okay, if I'm startup, it's usually a problem, it's a huge problem to open the account for the startup. Like, what should I do? I only open some company. I only had the license. I would like to work. Like, maybe it's some special requirements for the startup, or how you will check me like a startup who doesn't have any history, right?
Yeah, so I think it depends on the financial institutions that you choose to go. If you go to Nuve, we do accept startups, so I think it just depends on the risk appetite, right? I think the what you can, the best thing you can do is to prepare all the documents, especially if you're a new company, right, on the UBOs. So it would be clear that this has no sanctioned people and maybe shareholders from some countries that are higher risk. So I think the better you prepare in terms of the compliance documentation, the more chances you have to have a business account opened.
So it will be like step by step, and you will be interested in their physical entity, right? And his story in his LinkedIn account, and like how clean the history is, right?
Yeah, and of course, if what kind of documents he has, whether the AML policies were prepared using ChatGPT or it was prepared using professionals and professional services, and whether this is the package of documents have to be in clean, tidy, and professional, basically.
Have you met with the nominal services like in your practice? I mean, when the company come with the nominee services.
Sorry, Yulia, I'm not sure I'm following.
Have you met the cases when some company came with the director as the nominee, nominal
Yeah, so
services?
yeah, to be honest, we receive a lot of different cases
Uh-huh.
every day, and some of them are very, very, questionable at least. So, we can have we can have jokes when we drink coffee about some of the companies that come to receive the bank accounts without the UBOs even. So it's yeah,
When the UBO is the grandma with 90 years old, especially, we had cases like that, The
yes,
businesswoman, she left
yes,
only
yes,
get
yes,
started.
yes.
Okay. We have some questions more. If we will have time, I will ask them in the end. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. We can move on. And what I would like to say that I'm sure that nobody likes to pay taxes. Nobody. And how it's like Benjamin Franklin said, nothing is certain except death and taxes. Yes. And it's true. So today, I'm happy to welcome here Dmitry Mikhalenko, and he's the chairman of the supervisory board at Crow. It's a famous law firm in Europe. And Dmitri's key specialization is taxes, and the topic he will open for us. It's very, very. I'm so curious to listen, Dmitry, because it's interesting, I think, for everyone. Cryptocurrency taxation trends, and do I need to pay taxes if I have crypto on my account? Yes, we will speak about, I think, Ukraine or Europe or just the trends and the secrets. Dmitry, I see you are already here.
Hello?
And I see your presentation. Yes, now
Do
I
you
see
hear
you
me?
good.
Do you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Great,
yes.
great. So, colleagues, I'm glad to join this webinar and to share knowledge as to
Dmitry,
crypto.
1 second, please. Can I ask you to make slideshow? Like we will not see
One
in the
moment.
slideshow and from the beginning. Slideshow and slideshow. Right.
Okay. Dear colleagues, happy to join this webinar and to share knowledge related to taxation of crypto assets. As Yulia said before, we are about to comment the trends, and we understand that the situation are developing jointly with regulatory basis of for cryptocurrencies. We can see that from time to time we can see the change in treatment of taxation in different countries to the transaction of cryptocurrencies. Even the understanding what is it for accounting or taxation is changing from one country to the other. And currently, we in Ukraine, for instance, are looking at these developments and trying to understand how to structure our own legislation related to the not only regulation but also taxation of crypto activities. Anyway, we can make a sort of survey which shows the overall picture, and we understand that even if some countries change their approaches to taxation, so some others still have their own position. So we start from accounting. We should understand that the accounting treatment to different crypto assets may be different related to the economic nature of these very assets. For instance, the security token could be considered as financial assets, subject to IFRS 9, while utility tokens, which represent right to receive future goods or services, can be considered as prepayment for those goods and services, and therefore could be treated under IFRS 15. There is some general understanding that virtual currencies should meet a definition of intangible assets under IFRS 38, which defines an intangible asset as an indefinitely non-monetary asset without physical substance. From time to time, our audience come up with the question why virtual currency is not cash for the sake of taxation or regulatory issues. Tax guys reply from these questions for this question in the following way. Virtual currency are lacking certain features which are appropriate and relevant to the definition of money, namely units of account, means of exchange, and store of value. And therefore, most of them are about to recognize virtual currency not as money or cash, but as some other type of assets like intangibles. Also, we should understand that the commodities or services which are coming against the crypto assets are treated as the separate transaction. Therefore, they suffer or enjoy the general treatment for the taxation of the goods or services. And we can show or identify some specifics only when we try to recognize crypto assets as financial assets or intangible assets or goods or services or what. And therefore, we can come up to that the exchange of commodities against crypto assets can be either the settlements in cash or settlements in kind. And as we can see, many countries understand that it is settlements in kind for the nature of crypto assets as not money, but something as intangible assets. For the matters of corporate profit tax, as you see at this slide, most of countries, some countries treat cryptocurrency as intangibles, like Australia, France, Chile, and so on. Some of them understand it as a financial instrument. Some of them understand as commodity or virtual commodity, like Austria, Canada, China. But there are some countries which understand crypto assets as currency, despite crypto assets are lacking certain criteria for recognition them as currency. Some of them, like Japan, understand the crypto assets as legal payment methods. And for some of them, the regulations of tax treatment is not specified. Like you say, try to go in the some practical approach and give treatment to some very situation which they think that it is important to comment. As well, there are certain discrepancies in understanding of taxable events where the virtual assets should be taxed. Some countries understand that taxation starts from the first event on receipt of new tokens from mining, but most of them prefer to start taxation from the event of disposal of the tokens, that is to exchange them into fiat or to some, for instance, to fiat. And some countries follow different approaches, depending on business or regular traders or individual or occasional traders, who exactly is the part of taxation. Here you can show different examples which countries follow the above approaches. For instance, first event, new tokens from mining, Andorra, Argentina, Austria, so on. On disposal, Croatia, Czech Republic, Latvia, Lithuania, so on, and different approaches, Australia, Canada, Norway, Singapore. VAT. Milestone point was reached in October 2015, where the European Court of Justice ruled the case over the Skatteverket versus Hedquist, so-called Hedquist case. And in this case, for the matters of VAT, Court of Justice come up to the understanding that the virtual currencies and fiat currencies gave rise to similar difficulties in determining the taxable amount of the VAT deductible. And court goes into the way that despite of different understanding of virtual currencies, but for the matter of VAT, the transaction with virtual currency should be VAT exempt. And this affect the legislation in many European countries. Currently, they follow the concepts that the matters of VAT, use of bitcoins for acquiring goods or services is VAT exempt, out of VAT scope, like currency. Of course, supplies of goods and services which are payable for bitcoins should subject to VAT. Services supplied by digital wallets are either out of scope or exempt from VAT. Mining activities, the same interpretations, are either out of scope or VAT exempt. And services related to intermediation supplied by exchange platform in some countries of Europe are taxable, some other countries is VAT exempt. If we say out of VAT, we can also follow different treatments. And as well, we can see that some countries developing from understanding of virtual assets for the matters of VAT as barter, that is sale of goods against some other goods or services, to the understanding that is rather a mean of payment or just currency, which as such VAT exempt. If we speak of bitcoins or any other virtual currency. For instance, Japan, before July 2017, regarded sales of virtual currency as subject to VAT. But since 2017, VAT has not been charged on exchange provided by the relevant token, meets the definition of crypto assets under the relevant law. In effect, virtual currencies are treated in the same way as sovereign currency in terms of VAT. That is, their turnover is VAT exempt. As we speak of Ukraine, while we are waiting for the final text of the legislation act, we can see the different approaches of tax authorities on one side and taxpayers on the other side. For instance, VAT, while tax authorities try to issue tax interpretations that the turnover of virtual currency is subject to VAT, we can see that some taxpayers successfully follow the approach that we should use head quit case, despite it is the Code of Justice, not the European Code of Human Rights, and follow the position that the turnover of currency is VAT exempt. The same discrepancy in individual revenue tax. There are disputed whether it is capital gains or sale of goods, and respectively, what tax rate should be applicable to the turnover of virtual assets is 18% of 5% rate, and as well basis of taxation. Either it is profit or just revenue from the sale of virtual assets. Some difficult cases which coming back to Europe and the other world, they try to understand and to give treatment is stable coins and CBDC. While stable coins are treated likewise as the other virtual currencies, that is not sovereigns, but rather some intangibles. CBDC, on the other hand, would be used and backed by central public authorities such as central bank, and would provide stable digital form of fiat currency backed by a sovereign authority. So CBDC is meet criteria of currency, and therefore it is rather likewise fiat, but not the intangibles. I thank you for your attention to my report. Maybe you have questions, and I'm happy to reply to them.
Yeah, thank you, Dmitry. Taxes is always difficult. But we have one question. Do you think it is better for company to hide their crypto assets and income, or it's better to show them for reporting purposes? Is it possible to hide?
Look here, we are not fans of hiding anything, and we understand that the overall trends, for instance, in area of regulation, are opposite. That due to KYC procedures, the crypto lawyers should somehow show the transactions with crypto assets. Therefore, we also are not in position to hide there from the taxation purpose. Currently, granting to more clear regulations which are adopted in Europe, we understand certain models of treatment to crypto assets where we have neutral taxation of them, like contribution to chartered capital of Cyprus company, then sale of these assets at the European market for fiat. These transactions would have neutral treatment from the point of corporate profit tax, and maybe some different contribution to chartered capital of Cypriot company, and then sale of shares of this company for fiat. There would be exempt from VAT and also exempt from corporate profit tax. Therefore, we should find a solution which would allow us to somehow change the nature of the activities and provide our clients for more clear treatment from both regulatory and tax point of view.
And I think there will be penalties if you will hide, yes? Now
maybe,
or
maybe.
after?
As I mentioned, we are not in position to calculate penalties or to assess risks related to some hidden activities. We'd rather find some sound way for the turnover of either crypto assets or some other assets which can be alternative for crypto assets, like enveloping of them.
Yeah, thank you. And speaking about Ukraine, when it's possible that the law will come into force? So it's the next year or which year?
Currently, the plan is as follows: to wait till MiCA is adopted by the majority of European countries, and to make the final version of the law, which is grounded on MiCA ideas and solution, and then to issue Ukrainian regulation, which will be in line with European legislation. So maybe next year.
Okay, firstly MiCA European, and after some Ukrainian MiCA, like we can say. Thank you, Dmitry. Thank you so much for your speech, for your information and materials. And we go forward. And the last speaker we have, and he has prepared very interesting topic. The topic is about the tokenization, and I think there is very narrow specialization in the industry, and we will be eagerly listening to Boris Pikalov, a co-founder and chief analyst at StockX, and he will tell us what is the tokenization in a nutshell. That his topic is called like that, and what they are doing. How do you help business to grow, or to like we will listen how do you help business, right? Boris, please, you're welcome. You have your 15 minutes.
Okay, Yuliya, thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be on this webinar and presenting before a comparatively large audience, I would say. And I'm going to break a pace a little. I'm not going to present any presentation, so you would have to listen in carefully. And let's get right into the discussion. I'll start with introduction. My name is Boris. I'm co-founder at StockX, which is one of the world's leading asset tokenization companies. We provide a full range service that is not only technology or legal, but overall support throughout the entire process of issuing tokenized real-world assets. Myself, I've been in the industry for over 6 years. I personally worked on over 70 tokenization deals and did assessment of research of a few more hundred. So I have a pretty broad overview. I worked with deals on across all 5 continents, both developed countries and emerging markets. I worked across a range of industries, including real estate, commodities, natural resources, private equity, debt, etc. And in terms of the asset side, I work between the range of 100K and 100 mil and even more. So tokenization can be applied pretty broadly to a diverse range of assets. And let's get right into it and start discussing what is tokenization of real-world assets. In essence, tokenization is, you can think about it in the context of 2 definitions. One definition would be issuing a crypto token which is backed by legal and economic rights related to certain real-world assets. Think about property or, I don't know, gemstones or land or equity in your company, and we issue a cryptocurrency token that is legally recognized as providing the owners of this token with certain rights in relation to this asset. These rights can include things such as, most obviously, receiving receiving cash flows generated by the assets. For example, cash flows generated by the business, whole business or a certain business line, rental cash flows generated by the property, etc. It can include governance rights, for example, the right to determine the board of the corporation, the right to determine the investments in an investment fund, possibly the right to, it can receive, in the case of environmental resources such as gold in the ground that isn't yet mined. Governance rights can include decisions such as whether to authorize mining and to which extent. And it also can, and the rights, especially in regard to some assets, can receive the right to receive the asset in question. For example, if you're tokenizing art or collectibles or rare cars, you can use this asset to actually receive the underlying asset, exchange the token for asset. So this is one perspective on tokenization. Another perspective to understand what tokenization is really changing the medium in which the record of ownership is stored. Because what really happens with tokenization is that instead of now records of ownership of your diamonds or your equity or your land being recorded in, let's say, your private register, in your Excel sheet, in your business register, you now record it in the form of in blockchain, in the form of tokens. And now operations with the ownership or these rights happen not by updating an Excel sheet, but by updating a cryptographically protected database to which you can add various rules and automations. So this is 2 ways in which you can think about tokenization of assets. Now, when we establish this, we can discuss why would you want to tokenize real-world assets? And there is obviously a range of benefits. The first, most obviously one, is tokenization is broadly used as a way for capital raising. So we see commonly our clients issuing equity or debt in their company in the form of tokens, like tokenized equities and debt, and issuing this debt or equity in order to raise funding, either for expanding their current business or for funding a new project, like project finance deals. We see it especially common in property, where clients are financing, they have a land permit, and they finance the construction of property on this land. Or you can also finance, let's say, flip deals, such as purchasing a property, renovating it to increase value, and then selling it in 2 years and delivering profit to token holders. So financing is the most obvious use case. With tokenization, you get access to significantly larger range of investors. You can significantly reduce your minimum investment to things like $100, $500. You can you increase the attractiveness of your investment because it becomes more liquid, because tokens are traded very easily, unlike a typical investment in property. So it's also more attractive to investors, and you get access to global investors across all the world, obviously with certain legal limitations. So this is the primary use case. Second use case is monetization and liquidity for non-bankable, highly illiquid asset. So the situation our clients commonly encounter is that they have an asset that they can't really do anything and cannot convert into cash. A good example of this is gemstones. We have a German client whom we are in negotiation with, who has a $1 billion portfolio of gemstones, and this portfolio is too large to liquidate it effectively without sufficiently moving the market. So what they want to do instead is to issue tokens that are collateralized with these gemstones. They are issuing both traditional instruments like bonds and Web3 instruments like tokens. So we are in negotiations on how to issue tokenized index on these gemstones so that they could sell part of this portfolio into the crypto market without really liquidating this portfolio. Alternative way for them would be to try to receive a bank loan when they would receive a loan in the bank, which would be collateralized with these gemstones. But banks aren't very used to working with this form of collateral. So even in developed major economies, it is challenging for them. So they're looking at tokenization as an alternative way to monetize these unbankable assets. Another example is mineral resources in the ground. So we do have cases when clients want to tokenize mineral resources that are still in the ground, mineral rights to these resources, to potentially monetize them without while avoiding extraction, because extraction is environmentally destructive, which is obviously problematic. So they would prefer to actually avoid extraction, to get maybe carbon credits for that, and to sell the future rights to this asset so that investors could initiate an extraction in future, or maybe just avoid extraction and instead just enjoy the cash flow from carbon credit generated from the avoidance of the extraction. So this is an alternative mode how you can monetize these assets. While in the traditional world, the only thing they could do is either sell these rights to the mineral resource company or to a hedge fund or to a private equity fund. And what they would do is obviously do mass scale extractions. They would displace local populations. So they would be engaged in a less ethical business conduct. A last benefit, which is more of a technical one, relates to interoperability, because in as far as the records of your securities or ownership is stored in the form of Excel sheet, it cannot really interact with that many other databases and applications. When you bring your asset on chain, it becomes interoperable with all the other blockchain ecosystem. It can now interact with automated market making protocols. It can now be included in a blockchain index, including without you even knowing about that. It can be used as a collateral in lend and borrowing protocols. So holders of this asset can use it as a collateral against a loan in lend and borrowing protocols. And there are many other similar interactions. Obviously, many of these are still emerging. So AMMs aren't yet that large. Lending protocols work with very limited range of assets, but this is just a matter of time. In the range of 2 or 3 years, we are speaking about a significantly larger range of applications for tokenized assets. And therefore, you get access to this ecosystem by upgrading the form of ownership of your assets into the Web3 environment. Now, let's speak about the two forms of how real-world assets can be tokenized. Generally, we see two primary applications. One, assets being tokenized via securitization. In the case of securitization, what you issue is financial instrument securities that are regulated as securities under Securities Act, under MiFID, under prospectus regulation, etc., and that represent typically ownership, equity ownership in the company that holds the asset. This is especially common in the case of tokenizing business or tokenizing property, where you have this, let's say, piece of real estate owned by a company, and then this company issues its shares. So this is one common approach. Second common approach is direct tokenization of the asset. When token represents a piece of ownership in the asset itself, for example, a ownership of a gold bar, or ownership of a specific gemstone, or ownership of an alcoholic barrel, which is an interesting case we are working on in the UK. There is a broad range of assets that can potentially be tokenized. And this one is a bit more complex legally, because for securities, you have established legal framework that exists for hundreds of years. For direct tokenization, it's a bit more unclear, but it's possible to do so. The way you would typically do so is by assigning a custodian. So you would have a custodian that holds and operates an underlying asset and issues tokens as a contractual obligation. That is, users who hold the token have contractual relationship with custodian, such that the custodian guarantees a range of rights in relation to the underlying asset, such as the governance rights, economic rights, the right to receive the asset, etc. And the custodian would typically charge certain fee and recognize anyone who holds the asset as being a counterparty in that contract. So this is how you would typically go with a direct tokenization. Now, in terms of the process for tokenizing world assets, typically our process is broken down into 4 stages. Stage 1 is planning and research. During this stage, you are searching for an optimal configuration for this specific asset, because depending on your case, there are many different types of configurations can be used in terms of the jurisdiction in which the tokenization vehicle will be set up, the type of token being issued, like I was speaking about equity or debt or other type of token, or profit sharing, hybrid arrangement, what kind of corporate structure and entity type will be used, what will be your token economy, are we tokenizing only the investor stake or also management share, are we presuming a liquidity pool tokens in your tokenomics, or are we structuring the sale round in order to create momentum, create achievable goals, etc., who is the target audience, all these kinds of complex questions which have to neatly fit together, because obviously your secondary market strategy fits into your tokenomics fits into your target audience. Your target audience determines what would be the regulatory regime, which determines in which jurisdiction you need to be, which again fits back into what secondary trading model would make sense. So everything is interconnected, and we are doing a multi-objective constraint optimization using the engineering term in order to determine the optimal optimal parameters of each individual offering. Then stage 2 is implementation of the model that has been defined in stage 1. And by the way, some of the things you can achieve in stage 1 is reducing your budget by tenfold. I had one UK client with an entity in Liechtenstein for whom, by offering a more optimal structure, we reduced their legal bill from 200K to 25K, which is obviously significantly more attractive for the client. So there is great value to be derived in this stage. Then stage 2 is legal and technical implementation, during which you typically incorporate the entity, during which you prepare all the necessary legal documentation, which provides legal power to the token, provide disclosure to investors, etc. And on the technology side, you issue the actual token, you set up the infrastructure for feeding the real-time data into the token, if present, if you're doing the so-called data-rich token. And also you create the actual platform for offering the token, onboarding investors, you prepare your AML compliance infrastructure, etc. So this is one of the things that can be provided by Starbucks. Then the stage 3 is marketing stage, during which you promote your token to the selected target audience, which you can do using standard fundraising method. Either you go via ads and ad-based funnels when you have Google and Facebook ads, which you which feed people into, let's say, your webinar, and then your webinars feed people into the calls with your sales team when you try to get them to invest, and then they also subscribe and you send them email. So this is one form of marketing funnel. Alternatively, you can do just email and the LinkedIn outreach to the range of high net worth individuals and private and institutional investors, etc. And there is a range of marketing providers you can use. We work, let's say, with a US-based agency that executed over 500 successful equity crowdfunding campaigns. I have one US agency that has a network of 100,000 high net worth individuals and boasts that they have a 97, if I'm not mistaken, success rate in terms of their clients. So there is pretty strong ecosystem of potential fundraising providers you can work with to assist you with investor outreach. You don't necessarily have to do it on your own. And then the last stage, after you completed your offering, your journey is only beginning, because after that you need to enable secondary trading, which is one of the primary benefits of tokenization. And there are several ways in which you can do it. You can do it on a centralized exchange, on a decentralized exchange. You need to continuously distribute dividends, quarterly reports to your investors, and generally maintain positive investor relations so that they want to support your token over the long term. So this is stage 4, and really fundraising and investor relations is a fundamental change in your positioning in the world when you become more integrated in the broader community, when you give stake in your business to the financial and customer community. And this is something you, on one hand, continuously maintain. On the other hand, you continuously benefit from in terms of continuous capital inflow, continuous marketing support, continuous advice, talent acquisition, client acquisition, etc. We actually received several of our clients from the referrals from our community. And obviously, it makes sense to look at investor relations as a long-term investment, where the better investor network you build and the more returns you deliver, the easier it becomes for you to fund your future projects, when you can go to your existing investors and ask for even larger checks because they now trust you to invest in your further deals. So what tokenization does is opens up a continuously growing pool of capital for you can leverage in order to achieve more execute more deals, and eventually leave a larger legacy and more impact in the world. So that is everything that we probably made sense to discuss today. This is an insanely deep topic in terms of possible financial, legal models, etc. And I'd be happy to discuss it in greater detail if you reach out to me privately. And thank you again, Yuliya, for inviting me to this lovely webinar.
Thank you, Boris. Thank you. I see you're full of knowledges and you love it. You love what you do because your eyes and your mind is only thinking and making, telling us about what you are doing every day. We have several questions. What were the most unbelievable or strange projects of tokenization that you was making?
That's a good one. I had one client who wanted to package every regulated service in the world into their business, but find a way to offer this in an unregulated or weakly regulated way. But they wanted to have a system where they offer their investors, retail investors, access to multiple asset classes like private equity, public equity, actively managed portfolios, etc. They wanted to provide personalized advice to each of those investors to create their own portfolio and manage that portfolio on behalf of those investors and allow investors to trade their participation in these portfolios. So that was quite interesting. Obviously, it is impossible to do such a business model in an unregulated way, but you also want to find an approach that would be moderately regulated so that clients can start this business in a within a reasonable initial investment and gradually expand the complexity. So this was quite interesting. Film project, we had a few interesting film projects, for example, one that combined ideas of sci-fi and fantasy with some deep philosophy. I don't really remember the details, but we have an interview with these founders on our YouTube channel, so you can watch it. It calls the project is called Mint Raw. And this was super interesting because I'm a big fan of storytelling, especially the fantastical and sci-fi one. So that was also cool stuff.
Very different ideas and sometimes unbelievable really. And we have the question: what are the criteria the authorities use to differentiate tokens from securities?
Okay, so when your tokens are backed by real-world assets, in many instances, they would be treated as securities. You need to be ready to that, and that's not a huge deal. You just have to comply with certain regulatory standards. So and now this is the case both for security and non-security tokens, because, for example, in Europe, under MiCA, other types of tokens are regulated as well. Typically, some of the most important criteria are whether the expected return that is delivered by this asset, whether the risk return in the first place, and when the risk return doesn't depend on the activity of the issuer of the company's management or general market fluctuations. For example, in the case of gold, whether you make money on gold doesn't depend on me as an issuer of gold token or Paxos Gold. It depends on the overall market dynamics and what Fed does with the interest rates, etc. Instead, if you invest in stocks, whether you make money or not depends on how much I work and how well I work and how well I present on these kinds of webinars. So in this case, it would be a security because there is dependence on my effort, and therefore you need protections under the securities regulations. So this is the primary criterion. Regulators are also looking at things such as whether what kind of communication is used around this asset, whether the company is using the market making in order to put the price of the asset, whether how the funds, the proceeds from the sale of the asset are being used, etc. One cool thing to look at is a digital asset investment framework by US Securities and Exchange Commission. They have like a 13-page document with different criteria and factors they look at to determine whether asset is a security. So this is probably the most comprehensive document you can review to get an idea. And this question also has interesting implications. Like I've been looking at some case studies in the US that would, for example, allow sufficiently decentralized investment DAOs to avoid classification of the membership unit in this DAO as a security, and therefore also as an investment fund unit, and thus significantly reduce compliance expenses. So this is a question worth looking for in many cases, looking at.
Thank you. So it's a complicated question, but everyone can decide it. There another one question: how much does it cost the tokenization of the project? Do you need to have how much money you have to earn to make the tokenization to apply to your company, for example?
As with everything in life, it depends. I would say typical fee that we charge would be in the range of 40 to 50K. If you're speaking about private placement and a standard security token that is not data rich. I've done a few smaller deals, like some of the smaller ones were in the range of 20K of total fees where clients were really well prepared. And on the large side, we have deals in the range of 150 to 200K when these fees can apply in two cases. One, when there is a need to get a license or a regulatory approval. For example, if the client is doing a platform, which when they tokenize multiple third-party assets and they need to apply to some sort of a crowdfunding license. This is one instance. Second, when there is a novel technology development. For example, when they want some totally new blockchain, or when they have proprietary data sources, and these data sources have to be connected to the token, and we need to build a custom API for that. So this is a second instance when fees can be significantly higher. And obviously, it also depends on your selected type of marketing. If you're using placement agents or finder agents, typically they charge success fees. So you have a small onboarding fee of something like 10K. And then most of the money you would pay comes from success fee. So this is a cheaper form of issuance. If you're using a broad retail-based marketing, when you run ads, when you run social media campaigns, etc., then marketing can be quite expensive, and you would expect to spend another 50 to 100K on marketing. So this is another factor, obviously. Typically, for smaller clients, they start with doing the private outreach to accredited investors, which is significantly cheaper, and where providers charge success fees. And when they get larger and get some capital from investors, then they start broader campaign and invest larger amounts in marketing. So this is a multi-step process we typically observe.
So it depends on the project, on their plans, and the step-by-step road.
Yeah, but typically think about something like 40K.
Okay, thank you that you give the amount. Boris, I want to thank you I want to thank you with this speech, and it was really charismatic and very informative. Really, I hope that every guest today finds something new for him and understood what is tokenization, because this is a complicated topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your great facilitation, and thank you to the viewers for joining us today.
Welcome. So, dear guests, we have finished our webinar, crypto webinar for today's day. We should have the question and answers session, but we will not have, because I don't want to, we will go out from our frames and if you have questions, you know how to contact, and we will send the contacts of our speakers. Now we know where to create the legal structure for your crypto projects, what to wait from MiCA, and we know the risks, what we should take into our mind before launching crypto projects. We know that every shop that sell goods and services can accept crypto now. So now the time is changing, and we can make like our clients will pay us not only in fiat but in crypto as well, thanks to companies like WhitePay. We also know that we should not better hide our crypto profit, our crypto income, and it's better to deal with the good lawyer and with good advisor to prepare for the new regulations, for the new legislation. And now, after this webinar, we know good where to open the bank account, why the banks don't like crypto, and what to do for a startup if you only start a project, where to go, and what documents to prepare. And thanks to Boris, we know what is it tokenization. As I told, there is a little bit complicated topic. It's technical one, but now we have in general words, and we realize and understand what is that, and know whom to contact as well. So, as I've told, the records of this webinar today will be sent to everyone who leave his email. I would like to thank every speaker that took a part in today's crypto party, and every guest who listened us today. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Have a nice Wednesday, the continue of Wednesday. And I say goodbye. See you next webinars.